Hello, everyone. This is Coach Elma. Welcome to today's live training with roundtable breakout sessions where you receive cutting edge support with how to work optimally as an HSP in business and leadership so you can move from information to implementation and experience business miracles. Today, we're focusing on enhancing HSP executive functioning with 90-day benchmarks. And now it is my distinct pleasure to hand it over to Heather Dominick, founder of businessmiracles.com. Since 2010, she has been training highly sensitive entrepreneurs and leaders from around the globe to work less while making more impact and more income by doing things differently. Welcome, Heather.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Coach Elma. What a beautiful activation to start us off for this week's training roundtable. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to each and every one of you. Welcome to the Business Miracles community. Welcome to this space that is safe, that is stable, that is a reliable space and place for HSP empowerment, especially in the arenas of business, self-employment, and leadership. We are a community committed to hope, with the recognition that hope equals taking action for betterment. And maybe even take a moment and write that down for yourself as a good reminder. You have committed to being a part of a community that is committed to hope, and hope equals taking action for betterment. Along those lines, our topic for today's weekly training is enhancing HSP executive functioning with 90-day benchmark goals. Please write that down as well. I'm going to start us off with some summary reminders from last week's training on enhancing HSP business leadership through neurodiversity and executive functioning. First and foremost, according to Dr. Aaron's theory, HSPs are a subset of the population who are high in personality trait known as sensory processing sensitivity, or SPS. Valuable to write that down as well, even if you took that note last week. Sensory processing sensitivity, or SPS. SPS refers to increased emotional sensitivity, meaning a stronger reactivity to both external and internal stimuli. Pain, hunger, light and noise, and a complex inner life. Also, a reminder from last week's training, neurodiversity. Neurodiversity, people experiencing and interacting with the world around them in many different ways. There is no one right way of thinking, learning, and behaving. And most importantly, as part of neurodiversity, differences are not viewed as deficits. Executive functioning, mental processes, executive functioning skills that help you set and carry out goals. As part of all of this, I shared with you I am, the I am process. I standing for identify. Identify, am I HSP? Am I an overstimulated HSP? Am I an understimulated HSP? Or perhaps a combo platter of both? A for accept. Accepting the ways that being an HSP has previously informed past shadow patterns, coping mechanisms, shame, shield, and resistance. And M for master. Mastering the mental processes, executive functioning skills that help you to set and carry out goals, solve problems, make plans, manage emotions, regulate your emotions, control your impulses, and make decisions, all in a way that works for your highly sensitive nervous system. As HSPs in business and leadership, we use AUK, A-U-K, awareness, understanding, and knowing, along with community, core practice, and consistency as our 3 success pillars to support each of us with the results map, to engage with I am as an action of resilience versus resistance to who we are and how we are wired, all so that we can actualize the goals, the desires, the life purpose calling that each one of us feels deeply within our individual hearts, that we can actualize in spite of what might be happening around us. We do that in the Highly Sensitive Leadership Training Program by setting a 12-month goal generated from our HSP Strength of Intuition and meeting 90-day benchmarks in service and support to the actualization of that 12-month goal. This is a form of executive functioning as the neurodiverse community that we are of HSPs in business and leadership committed to empowerment. In the name of resilience versus resistance, I thought it would be helpful to hear from some community members other than myself who have been and are showing resilience by completing 90-day benchmarks. My invitation, as always, is deeply listen to these member community shares, first and foremost, recognizing their willingness, their choice of willingness to step forward in V&V, visibility and vulnerability, but also using deep listening to hear from what each member shares that you are meant to hear for yourself as inspiring evidence and or inspiring, sparking some ideas, some insights for you to use for yourself to engage with meeting your 90-day benchmarks as an act of resilience, as an act of I am, as a way to stay focused, as a way to stay connected, and as a way to use your HSP strengths in service to hope, equaling acting for betterment. I'd like to start by calling on core member Maria. Step forward, and Maria, meeting your 90-day benchmarks, please do share. How have you been able to do this?
I am delighted to share. So here goes. With working with Heather, that inner mindset has been just front and center, and learning the ask, the power of the ask. Having come out of a corporate environment, you could ask, but there was no assistance to be had. And so I learned to not ask often. So accepting and requesting assistance from experts in each specialty and profession that I've interacted with has been essential in extending my capacity and upping my impact. And during 2024, I did my research, consulted with Heather, and I was able to trust my book editing, design, publishing experts rather than trying to do it all on my own, which would have been a nightmare. The tools that I used were consistently using the ask. I'm actually quite adept at it now. Attending my weekly training retreat. You know what I'm saying. And working with what is my absolute favorite is the intuitive plan to take daily, weekly, and monthly actions. And then in my business, obviously, it's culminated in the achievement of my 90-day benchmarks for the last 3 quarters. What I really appreciate about it is that they provide targeted focus and consistent daily actions needed for ongoing progress. It brings me back. The benefit is that I have been able to really give optimal time to my clients, develop collaborative relationships with them, inspire their success, which of course inspires me. And lastly, my business is thriving. I've been at my Thrive goal for a couple of years now, and I'm very, very grateful for that. So thanks for listening.
Amazing. Amazing. First of all, congratulations. I'm seeing lots of rounds of applause and use of ta-da, Zoom emojis, some business miracles in response to meeting your Thrive goal for the last couple of years. And we just really want to take a moment to like take that in. It's everything that the results map is about. Now, there's a couple of aspects of your share that I want to highlight, but first, I'd love to just check in with you, Maria, and I'm just curious, and it's fine if it doesn't come right to top of mind because I'm putting you on the spot here, but is there a 90-day benchmark that you can recall from those last 3 cycles, 90-day benchmarks that you spoke about, that maybe you set that benchmark, you weren't sure how you were going to meet it, or if it was meetable, and maybe a little bit more detail about a specific 90-day benchmark and what it was and how that came about for you. Again, anything that you might be able to share. And if you're like, Heather, you're putting me on the spot, I feel HSP pressure, that's okay too.
Nope, I'm good. The completing the editing portion, getting that portion behind me, I underestimated it. So when I set the goal, I underestimated it by quite a bit. And the fact that there are inputs that I don't control and that everything comes back to you when it's your book. So you're re-reviewing and adjusting even after you've originally done it 2 or 3 times. So there was probably a hiccup, which is why it's 3, not 4 quarters that I achieved my 90-day plan. However, I did achieve my 12-month goal. So there was course correction, there was leaning into collaboration and then not leaning into collaboration and saying, I've set a date, we have a date, we're going to meet that date. And I hope that's answering your question.
It really is. And I'm so grateful. There's so much wealth in what Maria has shared. So I want to tease some things out for all of us to really be able to benefit from, again, in the name of really enhancing HSP executive functioning using the 90-day benchmark goals. So first, I really want to emphasize something that Maria did not necessarily clearly share, which is that her book is complete and launches this week. Yes.
Yay, thank you.
Amazing. The second thing that I want to highlight from Maria's share is with that specific emphasis of that particular 90-day benchmark and the underestimation. So that really highlights a few things. One, it busts the myth, because I hear this a lot from HSPs, of like, oh, I just want to write a book. If I could just write a book, then everything would just be so much easier and the marketing would be done for me. So I'm just really going to focus everything on writing a book. And what Maria just pulled back the curtain on is that actually working on a book is a massive undertaking. Just a reminder, there are no quick fixes or easy ways out of being an HSP. From there is in Maria's share, and particularly about that 90-day benchmark that she underestimated, she spoke of the value of having the 90-day benchmark to help keep her contained and on point and focused, while also engaging with course correction based on assessment, flexibility, and adaptability. So that also busts the HSP shadow myth of either it has to be perfect or it's not done at all. If it doesn't work out exactly the way that I wanted, then I have failed and I should stop. And if I don't meet that 90-day benchmark, then I might as well just give up because the rest of the 90-day benchmarks aren't going to happen. Literally the opposite to all of that is what Maria spoke to. From there, I want to dot connect to the first thing that she shared, which is mastering the power of the ask. Please write that down. Mastering the power of the ask. She emphasized the way that she asked for support from myself, from the team, and then therefore was able to ask for support from a publishing and editing team that she hired to help her with being able to actualize this significant project of book publication versus continuing the belief pattern that was established from her days in corporate, which you can ask, but you're not going to get an answer, or you can ask, but you're not really going to get the support, which would have been so easy for her to then ingrain an executive functioning or lack of executive functioning HSP tendency towards isolation. So we practice asking in here so that we then become masters, I am, in asking elsewhere. And because of that, Maria is launching a book within a year using her 90-day benchmarks. Thank you, Maria. Next, Anneil, a newer member in the Business Miracles community in our foundation program. Anneil, welcome. Please share how you have been working with your 90-day benchmarks.
Yes, thank you. So when I joined the program, I knew what I wanted to create before I joined Business Miracles. I just didn't know how. And just coming from a corporate background and also not having great success being a networker and all that, I just knew that I needed to be around the right community to help nurture and support my growth. So after meeting with Heather for my planning call, I was confident enough to take the first step towards my 90-day goal, which was to create, fill, and deliver a 4-week program for menopausal women who wanted to learn more about intuitive eating. So within a week, I posted it on LinkedIn and Facebook, told friends and family about it. I had about 6 people talk about their interest in it. And even though only 2 people registered, it showed me what was possible if I just put myself out there and not overthink things, which I've always done in the past.
Amazing. Can we just all, right? Anneil has not even been in the Business Miracles community for a year yet. So there's so much here that's so gorgeous and so beautiful. A couple of things again that I want to highlight. So that 90-day benchmark to have that 4-week program and launch that 4-week program as a 90-day benchmark supported Anneil with executive functioning and being willing to take actions that she shared, such as posting and sharing. And just one little tweak that I would make, if I may, as a HSP and business and leadership mentor, would be that Anneil attracted first 6 interests. So that's follow-up, opportunity, and possibility for future programming, and the 2 divine right enrollees for this first time offer of this 4-week program, who are then also positioned to continue work with Anneil. No 90-day benchmark, no sharing, no 4-week program, no 2 immediate warm next step leads, no further additional 4 follow-up leads. Movement versus no movement. 90-day benchmark, container, supporting the focus of executive functioning. Amazing. Congratulations, Anneil. Incredible.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely amazing. So again, for each of you, deep listening. What did you hear from Maria's share? What did you hear from Anneil's share to support yourself with enhancing your own HSP executive functioning by using your 90-day benchmarks? Take a moment, just hand on heart, reflecting on that. writing down anything that comes to you that is insightful, supportive, that you'll want to use, adapted or not adapted, for yourself as you go forward. Breath in and let it out. With that, I'm going to hand us over to the team for our program success tip for the week, led this week by Coach Kat. Kat, welcome.
Thank you so much, Heather. So, HSP leadership. So thrilled to be sharing our brand new HSP leadership results map with you. And I'm going to be putting it in the chat for you right now. And our team has seen several of you guys on the forum, like Catherine, really taking up and applying your HSP creativity to personalize and use this map already. So round of applause for all of you guys really leaning into this. And because it's a really, really great way to support you with doing things differently in support of HSP and neurodiversity, so that you really are leaning in as an act of resilience. So it's a great reminder that we all have the opportunity to use this map proactively as a part of preparing for Intuitive Planning Day so that you can experience different results in 2025. So our team invites you, especially if you're one of our members who prefers visuals in the learning process, to print this out and use the white space to fill in your choose willingness declaration, your 3 baseline beliefs, your 12-month goal, and your 90-day benchmark goals, so that you have it with you. It's so easy in the day-to-day if we don't have something front and center for it to fall away, right? That's why that tracking and keeping something right there in front of us is so valuable. So bring it with you to the weekly roundtables, bring it with you to your one-on-one check-in calls, bring it with you as you're working on your 4Q weekly updates and focus. As always, a choice, not an obligation. Use as you choose, but I'm definitely printing mine out. Back to you, Heather.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that, Coach Kat. And if you're, really high in executive functioning, like HSL++ member Stephanie Bonte-Lebert, then you add strawberry shortcake stickers to your results map. And, just spark it up, my dears, my lovelies. Spark it up. Do whatever you need to do to really create that aligned connection with your results map. Breath in and let it out. That's how we strengthen our executive functioning as HSPs, and that's how we create our life purpose calling, regardless of what is happening around us. Join us in the chat. Share your takeaways on the forum. This stood out to me, this is why, and this is the action that I will take. See you on the forum and all the ways that I will see you until our next weekly training roundtable. And so much love.